Hello everyone, today we're going to be talking about 3 terrible mistakes I made when I first started playing Epic 7, and I wish that I had figured it out way sooner. So we'll go through each one, I'll give my examples, and then hopefully if you've just started the game, you're not going to make these same mistakes. Now these mistakes are not things that I think people will be making, they're literally mistakes that I made. So this might be different from your experience, but if you have your own regrets about how you started out, you can share those in the comments down below, and that way a new player can read that and just learn even more about the game. And by the way, if you see these mistakes in your experienced player and you think that it was ridiculous that I made them, then go ahead and roast me in the comments. I don't care, bring it on. All right, so the first mistake I made was in the Labyrinth mode, and it's seriously so bad. So at first you're going through this mode, it's really simple. The maps are nice and small, and you can use these orange squares here, these exit portals that you unlock, as waypoints. I never thought to do it because the maps were small enough you were able to clear them all, and I just didn't realize that was an option. So just to be clear what I'm talking about here, you can actually click on any of these and you can teleport to that place on the map. I literally didn't know this, but then you get to the different labyrinths later on and they are so much bigger. This is Nixie's Sanctum and it's massive. Right? So imagine poor Mysidia, I'm going through this dungeon thinking that you can't teleport or not knowing that you can teleport. And of course, every time you unlock an area, Raz is like, I should use a waypoint to get there faster, or there's a tooltip on the loading screen or whatever it is. I eventually figured it out. It was pretty embarrassing and I'm very sad about it. However, now you can see that I've been able to clear all of these dungeons here. So the other part of the labyrinth that you should definitely know about is the morale level here. So you can see the green 50 in the top there, that decreases the more that you explore the labyrinth, the more things that you do. And if you want to raise that, you can camp at an intersection once per round, and that will allow you to gain back some morale. And if you want a fast way to do that, you need to put on some units that synergize together, and you can figure out which ones give you the highest morale scores by going to ceciliabot.github.io, and I'll show that on the screen. And basically it will tell you what your best teams are and how much morale you can get. So that's also very helpful for this mode. Oh my God, I literally can't make this up. During the filming of this video, I realized that when you're going through these longer maps, the second time you come back, you're going to be like, what the heck? Where do all these portals go? Well, guess what? You can click on the portal and it's going to ping where the other one ends up. I literally just figured this out. Would have loved this feature when I was clearing this dungeon. All right, so the second mistake that I was making is this events bell on the left side of the screen here. When you click on it, there is a bunch of information. And now the problem with my game is that I'm playing on an internet connection that is very secure. I live in a school, for those of you that don't know, and they actually had blocked my ability to use this site. So when I go to collecting coins here, there is a whole web event that is whited out. And I was looking at all these things online. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with my game, and I was doing these different settings on BlueStacks to try to make it work, and it just turned out it was my internet. Literally, my Wi-Fi will not let me do these events. So this collecting coins thing here, this is 200 stamina per day, if not more. It gives you gold, it gives you artifact charms or equipment charms and other things like that. There's a bunch of different rewards. You can get Molagora and other things if you are able to collect these events. So if you cannot see this, then you need to use your cellular data. So I can just use my phone, turn off the Wi-Fi, and I'm able to do these events daily. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but they literally won't work on my Wi-Fi. So I'm telling you this for 2 reasons. One, if you run into this problem, because literally nobody had this solution when I looked online. And 2, because if you don't know this event screen exists, that's kind of a big deal. There's the Hunt Expert Challenge, which is one of the most important things for a new player to do. There's also been some pretty important events in here that give Moonlight summons and other things. So it's really important that you are very thoroughly checking this event page every day or every update. The final mistake that I was making in Epic 7 when I first started was that I was not speed checking my gear. And I learned this when I made my first Epic 7 video, and a lot of people called me out about it, fairly, by the way, because I was missing a vital part of the game. So I'll give you an example right now. So I have this piece of equipment here, this Abyss Drake Bone Sword. It's got 4 speed on it, which is a nice starting speed. But even if this had 2 speed or 1 speed, whatever it is, you can still do a speed check on it. And I'll show you right now what I mean. So when we go to enhance this, I can raise it to level 3 and we'll see where this goes into. Boom, it went into speed. So let's say this was a 1 speed item. I would be at 3 speed. That's not very good, but there's still a chance that it can keep climbing. Now, hopefully it's going to increase by a larger amount than 2, but hypothetically on a purple like this, if you were able to go into speed 3 times in a row, then your 4th roll would go into something random, and your 5th roll could hypothetically go into speed again. You would actually have a very usable speed item that you could put on almost any character. Now, the chances are that it's not going to roll into speed, or maybe it doesn't roll into speed twice in a row. And at that point, you just need to get rid of the equipment. You don't save it. However, you still need to check, because you never know when you're going to go into a purple item 4 times, or God forbid, a red item 5 times. That's how you can get some of the best equipment in the game if you're patient and you check all of your gear that has speed on it to see if it actually goes into speed. And this is not going to be an expensive thing, because when you go from level 1 to 3, or in 3 to 6 and 6 to 9, it doesn't cost a lot of materials. But if you go farther than that, that's where it's very risky, but you're going to know by level 9 whether you should actually risk it. And the only reason you would risk it is if it went into speed 3 times on a purple, or maybe on a red, it's gone into something else, but you know it can still go into speed 2 more times, because red items don't need to reroll a 4th stat at the bottom here. So let's go ahead and finish this one out. Let's go to level 6 here, and we'll see. We went into speed again. Okay, level 9. We'll see where we can get to. Let's go speed. Okay, triple speed. Here we go. This one will not go into speed. It's going to go into the bottom stat there. 8% attack. That's pretty good. Okay, now this is kind of questionable. It's still not the highest speed, but I don't really have a lot of speed stuff. So you can see how expensive it is to go to level 15. This is not something you want to do if you're not sure about it. But at this point for the video, we've got to... And there you go. Literally couldn't have wrote a better script than this, right? So we went into a purple item here. We got speed the first 3 times. We then rolled the 4th time. It actually got a good stat, and it actually got it at the highest percent that we could. And then we went for our 5th roll. It went into speed. All of a sudden, I have a 15 speed gear, which may not seem incredible to some experienced players, but to me as a new player, this is actually one of my better pieces of gear. So this is an example of speed checking, and thank God we got a good example of why you should do it. All right, so that's going to be it for my 3 biggest mistakes I've made in Epic 7. I'm sure I've made plenty of other mistakes, but that will have to be saved for another video. But what I'm curious about is, if you are a new player, if you had any mistakes that you made at first, if there's things that you want to share with the other viewers, then please, by all means, share that down in the comments below. Otherwise, let me know what you'd like to see in terms of Epic 7 videos. My perspective is going to be a new player, so I'm not going to be doing, should you pulls or, RTA guides or anything like that. But if there is new player content that you want to see, I'm all for it. So let me know and we'll get to chatting in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next video.